She said she loved me, but behind my back, she was sleeping with my brother's best friend. And when I finally caught her, she stole $2,000 from our joint savings and tried to ruin my life. I didn't fight back. I told the truth and watched everything around her collapse. This is my story. I'm going to tell you exactly when my world ended. It was 6:43 p.m. on a random Thursday. I know because I looked at the clock right before I opened the door to surprise my girlfriend of 4 years with the one thing she kept saying she wished I'd do more: show up unannounced, be spontaneous, romantic, all that. I had flowers in one hand, a key in the other. We lived together for 2 years, and I was humming some dumb love song under my breath, feeling like a fool in the best way. I wanted to see her smile, to walk in, kiss her, maybe dance around the kitchen like we used to before work and rent and life got in the way. But the moment the door creaked open, everything changed. She didn't hear me come in. She was in the living room, barefoot, hair tied up, wine glass half full, laughing at something on her phone. That should have been a beautiful sight. Except, she wasn't alone. There was a guy next to her, slouched on my couch, wearing my hoodie. No, not mine. His. Because I'd never seen that hoodie before in my life. And she was wearing his sweatpants. And the way she was sitting, curled up against him like she'd done to me every Sunday night for years, it wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't innocent. It was betrayal. Frozen in place, I watched as she leaned into him and murmured, "He still has no idea." He laughed, and my heart stopped. I dropped the flowers. They hit the floor with this stupid little rustle, like a dying whisper. She turned, and her face, pure panic. She opened her mouth like she was about to explain something, but I didn't give her the chance. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just walked out. Because in that moment, I realized something. She wasn't sorry. She was caught. I sat in my car for an hour. Maybe 2. I don't even remember driving home. I just remember gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white, and my breath coming in short, shallow bursts like my lungs were too full of everything I didn't say. And the worst part? I wasn't even surprised. Because all of this, it had been building up for months. The late nights at work. The sudden coldness. The way she flinched when I reached for her. I just didn't want to believe it. I wanted to think we were in a rough patch. That she was just stressed. That maybe it was me. Maybe I was being too paranoid. No. Turns out I was being too naive. I wish I could say that was the end of it. That I walked away, blocked her, rebuilt myself like a hero in some movie. But that was just the start. Because the next morning, my phone started blowing up. Messages, calls, voicemails. First from her, then from our mutual friends, then from an unknown number. And that's when I realized this rabbit hole went way deeper than I thought. I didn't sleep that night. Just laid in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying every conversation we'd had over the last 6 months, trying to spot the signs, the lies, the shifts in tone. But nothing could have prepared me for what I found out the next morning. Because when I finally opened my phone, that guy? The one on my couch? He wasn't some random coworker or old college friend. He was my brother's best friend. And not just any friend, the guy I grew up with. The guy who'd been at our family dinners. The guy I literally thanked in my speech at our engagement party last year. His name was Ethan, and I'd known him since I was 10. It started with a message from my brother. Simple. "Hey man, I think we need to talk. It's about Ethan and Haley." My stomach dropped. Because he knew. He knew, and didn't tell me. I called him immediately. He picked up on the second ring. "Listen," he said, "I didn't know how to say this. I didn't know if I should say anything. I thought maybe it was a mistake. I didn't want to blow up your relationship over a rumor." "What rumor?" A pause. Then, "Ethan told me they hooked up once. Said it was a mistake. Said it was months ago. But the way he said it." I didn't buy it. He was smug. Almost proud. I swear, I didn't even realize I was shaking until I dropped my phone. Hooked up once? Once? They looked comfortable last night. Like it wasn't the first time. Like they'd done this dozens of times. How long had it been going on? How many times had she smiled at me with his kiss still on her lips? I went into detective mode. Checked our shared iCloud. I'd never snooped before. Never needed to. But now? Now I needed answers. And what I found. Airline tickets. 2 weekends ago. 2 tickets. To Miami. I was in Chicago that weekend for a work trip. I even FaceTimed her before bed. She said she was just home, watching Netflix. Turns out Netflix was a beachfront Airbnb. With him. I don't even remember how I got through the day. At some point, I just walked into my manager's office and said, I need to go home. Didn't explain. Didn't care. I went straight back to my apartment. And she was there, sitting at the kitchen counter like nothing happened. Can we talk? She said. I didn't answer. Just walked past her and started packing her stuff into trash bags. You don't understand it. I stopped, looked her dead in the eyes. Oh, I understand. I understand everything now. She started crying. The ugly kind. Red nose, gasping sobs, mascara melting. I stood there watching like I was outside my body. Because for the first time in 4 years, I didn't feel love. I didn't feel hurt. I felt nothing. You were supposed to be different, she whispered. You were supposed to fight for us. I laughed. Fight who? Haley? Him? You. She said nothing. Because she knew. She knew there was no coming back from this. And just when I thought that was rock bottom, the doorbell rang. I opened it. And guess who was standing there? Ethan. In his stupid leather jacket. Acting like this was just another casual visit. You and I should talk, he said, voice calm like he wasn't the human equivalent of a betrayal grenade. I didn't punch him. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But instead, I smiled. Yeah, I said. Let's talk. Because I had a plan. And Ethan was about to find out that I'm not the type of guy you screw over and walk away from untouched. I let him in. Ethan walked past me like he owned the place. Like he hadn't been caught red-handed the night before. Like we were still buddies. He sat down on the same couch where I saw them curled up together. The audacity. I know how it looks, he said. I raised an eyebrow. You do. He had the nerve to smile. Look, it wasn't supposed to happen. It just did. We didn't plan it. It was emotional. You were always distant. She needed someone. I was there. I was distant? That's what he was going with? I looked at him, dead silent. Let him fill the room with his own bullsh** tea. And then I said just one word. Miami. His smirk twitched. Gotcha. I leaned against the wall and started listing things off like I was reading from a grocery list. The Airbnb. The matching flights. The photo of her on the balcony that she posted, alone, but forgot the reflection in the window. His eyes widened. Just for a second. And the funniest part? I added. You Venmo'd her for the Uber from the airport. Real smooth, man. You always were bad at covering your tracks. He started to speak, probably to feed me more lies, but I cut him off. I don't care about your excuses, I said, voice low. You didn't just sleep with my girlfriend. You laughed about it. You bragged to my brother. He opened his mouth again. You broke the code, I said. And now I'm gonna break you. He stood up fast. Oh, come on, man. Don't be dramatic. I laughed, an actual laugh this time. You think this is me being dramatic? I walked over to my desk, grabbed a folder, and tossed it on the table in front of him. Inside? Screenshots. Printouts. Voice recordings. I'd spent the entire night digging into Ethan's life. Because here's the thing, Ethan didn't just screw me over. He screwed a lot of people. And I had receipts. Turns out, Ethan had a little side hustle going at his job. He was a recruiter at a mid-sized tech company. But what his bosses didn't know, he was moonlighting as a fake career coach, charging desperate grads for exclusive job referrals he never delivered. And guess who had proof? Me. Because one of those grads was my friend's cousin. And she had the emails, the payment trail, even a recorded Zoom call where he promised her a job for $400. And all I had to do was forward it to HR. Ethan's face went pale. You're bluffing, he said. Try me, I whispered. He lunged for the folder. I stepped in front of it. Touch anything in my apartment again, I said, and you're not just getting fired, you're getting arrested. That shut him up. He stood there, breathing hard, fists clenched, eyes darting around like he was looking for some magical escape. There wasn't one. Get out, I said. He didn't move. So I opened the door. You wanted her, I said. You can have her. But your job? Your reputation? That's mine now. He finally left. Didn't say a word. Just walked out like a kick dog. And I didn't feel guilty. Not even a little. Because in that moment, I knew. He was about to lose everything. And Haley? Oh, she was next. Because I hadn't even started with her yet. After Ethan left, I thought I'd finally hit the bottom. Turns out, I hadn't even scratched the surface. Because about an hour later, I got a notification on my phone. Chase Bank, $2,000 withdrawal. I froze. That account? It was our joint savings. The one we opened when we started living together. The one I'd been pouring money into for our future. The one only she and I had access to. My heart started racing. I opened the banking app. There it was. $2,000. Gone. Labeled as a travel expense. And guess what? It was processed an hour after I caught her cheating. She didn't even wait a day. I called her immediately. She didn't answer. I texted her. Nothing. So I did the only thing left to do. I drove straight to her office. She worked at a boutique marketing firm. Real artsy vibe. Plants everywhere. People in cardigans pretending to be important. I walked in, calm on the outside, burning inside. The receptionist looked up. "Hi, can I help you?" "I'm here for Haley," I said. She took something that doesn't belong to her. The girl blinked. She actually called in sick today. Of course she did. I left without a word, sat in my car, and stared at the dashboard. I felt that pressure in my chest again, the kind that builds when you realize you weren't just lied to. You were used, manipulated, for years. And now, she was trying to make a clean escape. But here's what Haley didn't know. I don't lose quietly. I went home and started digging. Bank records, email receipts, Amazon orders. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't a one-time thing. She had been slowly siphoning money for months. Small withdrawals, tiny charges, stuff you wouldn't notice at first glance. $45 here, $89 there. A few Venmo transfers labeled as groceries, all sent to names I didn't recognize. I dug deeper, and suddenly, the puzzle pieces snapped into place. One of those names was a hotel manager in downtown LA. I called, said I was confirming a stay for Haley. He checked the system. She'd booked that suite twice. Both times during weekends I was away for work. So while I was busting my ass, flying out to make partner, she was using my money to play house with him. I remember sitting there, screen glowing in the dark, surrounded by bank statements and screenshots, thinking, she didn't just cheat on me. She robbed me. And now? Now it was time to take back what was mine. First thing I did was call the bank and freeze the account. Next, I called a friend of mine, lawyer, low-key genius, and exactly the kind of person you want in your corner when *T hits the fan. I told her everything. She didn't even hesitate. Get her out of the apartment. Today, if your name's on the lease, you've got rights. So I went home, changed the locks, packed the rest of her things, and left a note taped to the door. Your access is revoked. The bank's been notified. Try anything else. And I go full legal. That night, she finally called. I let it go to voicemail. Her voice was trembling. You changed the locks? Are you insane? You can't just... I needed that money for something important. I didn't mean to, please. Let's just talk. No, Haley. We're past talking. We're past everything. Because now I don't want closure. I want consequences. By the next morning, my hands had stopped shaking. My brain, not so much. I couldn't stop thinking about how calm she sounded in that voicemail. Like she hadn't wrecked 4 years of my life. Like I was the one who overreacted. But that's what narcissists do, right? They shatter you, then ask why you're bleeding. I wasn't going to play that game. Not anymore. So I started crafting the message. Not to her. To everyone. Our mutual friends. Her coworkers. Even her family. Because guess what? She made me look like the bad guy for months. Started planting little seeds weeks ago. He's been distant. He doesn't make time for me. I think he might be talking to someone else. Meanwhile, she was swiping my card for hotel rooms and wine dates with Ethan. Enough. I posted one thing to my Instagram story. A screenshot of the bank withdrawal. Captioned, when your girlfriend of 4 years cheats on you with your brother's best friend, and then robs your savings account the next day. I didn't tag her. Didn't need to. People talk. People share. Within 10 minutes, my phone was lighting up like a Christmas tree. The reactions? Mixed. Some shocked. Some quiet. But the best? Her coworker Jess messaged me. Oh my God. I knew something was off. She lied about taking vacation days. Said she was visiting her grandma in Oregon. I replied, pretty sure her grandma doesn't own a rooftop pool in Miami. Another text came in from her sister. I'm so sorry. She told us you were controlling. I can't believe this. If you need me to back you up, I will. I didn't even realize how badly I needed that message. It felt like the first time in days someone actually saw me. But nothing topped what happened that afternoon. Because that's when I got a DM from a burner account. No name. No bio. Just one message. You're not the only one she did this to. My blood ran cold. We went back and forth. Turns out, she'd been talking to another guy. Not Ethan. Not me. A third one. She met him at the gym. Told him she was single. They'd been hooking up for 5 months. I asked for proof. He sent photos. One of them at the dog park. The same one she and I used to go to every Saturday. Another one of her in his kitchen, wearing my hoodie. I stared at the photo for a long time. I wasn't even angry anymore. Just empty. Like something inside me had finally burned out. But that emptiness? It gave me clarity. This wasn't a girl who made a mistake. This was a pattern. This was who she was. And if she wanted to play games with people's lives, then she picked the wrong guy to cross. I sent one final message. To her. Simple. By the time you read this, everyone will know the truth. You don't get to rewrite this story anymore. And then, I blocked her on everything. Phone, email, socials, Venmo, Spotify. If she made smoke signals, I blocked this guy. The fallout was instant. Her sister messaged me later that night. She's spiraling. Called my mom sobbing. Said she's being harassed. Nobody believes her anymore. Then came the cherry on top. Jess, the coworker, messaged again. She's been put on leave. Apparently clients complained. HR's involved. This might be bad. I replied. Good. Because I wasn't trying to ruin her life. She did that on her own. I just made sure she couldn't lie her way out of it this time. For a minute there, I thought Ethan might actually slip through the cracks. Sure, I threatened him. Sure, I handed over the evidence. But part of me worried he'd talk his way out of it. He was that guy, you know? The smooth one. The charming one. The one who always knew how to spin the story just enough to come off clean. But what he didn't realize, he didn't just screw over me. He scammed other people too. People who don't just get angry. People who press charges. 3 days after I posted the story, I got a text from my friend's cousin, the girl Ethan scammed for that fake job coaching service. He blocked me on everything. But guess what? I sent all your screenshots to his company's HR. They emailed me back. They're investigating now. I grinned. Oh, it's happening. The next morning, I checked LinkedIn. His profile? Gone. I checked again that evening. Still gone. And then I got another message. This one from a random account. No name, no photo. Just. Ethan got pulled into a meeting today. Word is, he's on suspension. They're digging through his client logs. It's bad. You have no idea how satisfying it is to watch someone implode without having to lift another finger. I didn't need to scream. Didn't need to threaten. All I did was shine a flashlight into the dark. The rats did the rest. That night, I went out for the first time in weeks. Just me, a couple of real friends, in silence from my phone. No drama. No betrayal. No pretending I was okay while being stabbed in the back. Just peace. And then, as if life wanted to give me a little bonus prize, I got a message from someone I never expected. His name was Brian, Ethan's coworker. Hey, I saw your story. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but thank you. That guy's been a nightmare for months. You just did everyone here a favor. I read that message 5 times. Because it hit me, I wasn't crazy. I wasn't bitter or overreacting or dramatic. I was just done being quiet. And when people stop being quiet, truth makes noise. But the best part was still coming. Because a few days later, I got a voicemail. Blocked number. I almost didn't listen to it. But curiosity won. And as soon as I hit play, I heard it. Ethan. His voice, frantic. Not the calm, smug version I was used to. Look, I know we're not cool, but can we talk? Please. Just 5 minutes. I think I messed up bad. HR's on my ass. I'm probably getting fired. And Haley's freaking out. She's saying you ruined everything. But I didn't. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I hit delete. Didn't even finish it. Because here's the thing, Ethan. I didn't ruin your life. You did. I just turned the lights on. I was finally starting to feel okay. Not great. Not healed. But lighter. Like I could breathe again without choking on betrayal. The texts had stopped. The voicemails were gone. Ethan was suspended. Haley? Quiet. It was peaceful. Too peaceful. So when I heard the knock on my door that Saturday afternoon, not the doorbell, not banging, just 3 soft knocks, my gut twisted instantly. I knew. I opened the door. And there she was. Haley. Standing on my doorstep like nothing happened. Wearing a hoodie that wasn't mine. Hair tied up like she used to when we made pancakes on Sundays. And this sad little expression she probably practiced in the mirror. She looked up at me and said, almost too softly, "Can we talk?" Not "I'm sorry." Not "I messed up." Not even I miss you. Just, can we talk? I stepped outside, closed the door behind me, and folded my arms. Why are you here? She hesitated, looked down at her shoes. Things got complicated. I laughed once. Sharp. Dry. You mean after I exposed you? She flinched. Then her eyes narrowed. You didn't have to go public. There it was. Not guilt. Not remorse. Just damage control. I took a breath. Let me guess. Your job's on the line. Ethan ghosted you. Your sister stopped talking to you. And now you're here to play victim. She blinked hard, voice trembling. You don't understand. Everything just got out of control. You were in control, I said. You made every decision. You lied. You stole. You cheated. Repeatedly. I was scared. Of what? Commitment. She didn't answer. Because she knew the truth. It wasn't fear. It was greed. Then she did the thing I least expected. She reached into her bag and pulled out a piece of paper. Folded. Crisp. Too clean. It's a payment plan, she said. For the money. I'll pay you back. I swear. I didn't even look at it. Because I finally realized what this was about. She didn't come for closure. Or to apologize. She came to fix her image. To make things right. Just enough to spin the story later. Look, I offered to pay him back. I tried to fix it. He wouldn't let it go. Yeah, no. I leaned in, voice calm. You know what I want. She blinked. Hope flickered in her eyes. I smiled. I want you to leave and never show your face again. And then I ripped the paper in half. Right in front of her. Her face changed. Soft sadness replaced by sharp anger. You're unbelievable, she hissed. You act like you've never made a mistake. I leaned closer. I never made your mistakes. She opened her mouth again, but I was done. I turned, opened the door, and said the last thing I ever said to her. Tell Ethan I said hi. Then I closed the door in her face. For good. She stood there for a while. I watched through the peephole. At first she just stood still. Then she kicked the door. Once. Hard. And walked away. No more tears. No more sweet voice. Just silence. Exactly what I wanted. It had been 2 days since Haley showed up at my door. 2 days of silence. No texts. No knocks. No new drama. I should have known better. Because just when I started to settle back into something like normal, my phone lit up with a name I hadn't seen since the beginning. Liam. My brother. The one I thought would take my side. The one who introduced me to Ethan in the first place. We need to talk. Now. We met at a coffee shop near his place. Neutral ground. I walked in expecting awkwardness. Maybe even regret. What I didn't expect was anger. He didn't even say hi. Didn't sit down. Just stood there, arms crossed, jaw tight. What the hell did you do to Ethan? I blinked. I exposed him. You ruined him. I laughed. Couldn't help it. I ruined him. Or did he ruin himself when he scammed people, lied to his company, and screwed my girlfriend behind my back? You didn't have to go nuclear. That's when I got it. He didn't care what Ethan did. He cared that it made him look bad. Because Ethan wasn't just his best friend. He was his image. They worked out together. Posted those fake deep gym selfies. No excuses. Only results. Hashtag grind set. And now? His golden boy was gone. I stood by you, I said. Even when people told me you only cared about yourself. I had your back. And now you're defending him. He didn't answer. Just stared at me like I was the one who'd crossed a line. You embarrassed him publicly. Good, I snapped. He humiliated me privately for months. You aired out family drama online. People are talking. Let them. Then his voice dropped. Low. Threatening. If you don't take that post down, we're done. There it was. The ultimatum. Family or truth. Silence or justice. I stood up, picked up my coffee, and said the quietest words I've ever spoken to him. Then I guess we're done. He stared at me, stunned. Like he thought I'd fold. Like I always did. But I didn't. I walked out and didn't look back. Because that was the moment I realized something. Sometimes blood isn't thicker than betrayal. And loyalty means nothing when it's one-sided. Later that night, my mom called. Of course she did. Honey, can't you just forgive and move on? No, Mom. Because forgiveness without consequences is just permission. And I'm done handing out free passes. I should have known she wouldn't go quietly. Haley. She'd lost the apartment, the money, the reputation, the job. But girls like her? They don't accept consequences. They rebrand. And that's exactly what she tried to do. It started small. A vague Instagram post. Sometimes people twist the story to make themselves feel like the hero. No tags. No details. But just enough for mutuals to wonder. Then came the second one. A carousel of quotes. Gaslighting is abuse. Protect your peace. Narcissists always play the victim. I almost laughed. Me? The guy who paid the rent. Who supported her for years. Who trusted her while she was out living a double life. Now I was the abuser? I let it go. At first. But then, I got a call from my boss. Yeah, she took it there. Hey, he said carefully. I got a weird message from someone claiming you're emotionally unstable. That you retaliated online against your ex. Know anything about that? My stomach dropped. I knew instantly it was her. She wasn't trying to save face anymore. She was trying to destroy mine. But what she didn't know, I documented everything. Screenshots, voice messages, bank statements, even a saved copy of the original Instagram post, time-stamped and backed up in the cloud. So I sent it all. To HR. To my boss. Even included a polite little note. If she contacts you again, let me know. My lawyer will handle it from there. 10 minutes later, silence. Then an email from HR. Thanks for the clarity. You're all good. Let us know if anything escalates. Crisis avoided. Because this time, I wasn't blindsided. This time, I was prepared. But the part that hit hardest wasn't her lies. It was how many people believed them. People who knew me. People I'd helped. People who smiled in my face, but never reached out to ask if I was okay. They just quietly stepped back. Neutral. Passive. Staying out of it. That hurt worse than any betrayal. Because when it came down to it, silence wasn't neutral. It was siding with the abuser. I started trimming my circle. Mutuals? Gone. Fake friends? Muted. People who reposted her cryptic drama? Blocked. Not out of spite. Out of peace. And then, the message came. From her. Again. You went too far. I lost everything. Are you happy now? I stared at it for a long time. Then typed. You lost what you stole? I just took it back. Blocked. For the last time. 6 months. That's how long it had been since I slammed the door on that chapter of my life. Since I deleted the last voicemail. Since I chose peace over chaos. And for once, I meant it. No checking her socials. No late-night hate scrolling. No bitter rants to friends. Just healing. Real, boring, slow healing. Turns out, closure doesn't come with fireworks. It comes with quiet. And then, life moved on. I got promoted at work. Started running again. Even joined a book club, of all things. Every now and then, I'd think about her. About Ethan. About my brother. Not with anger. Just with distance. Like old names carved into a tree you walked away from. Faded. Forgotten. Irrelevant. Until one rainy Thursday. I walked into a coffee shop on my lunch break. And saw her. She was sitting alone. Corner table. Hoodie up. Head down. Same nervous tick. Twirling a straw between her fingers like she used to when she lied. I almost didn't recognize her. She looked smaller. Not physically. Just dimmed. Like someone had taken the spark out of her and replaced it with static. I could have turned around. Could have walked away. But I didn't. I ordered my drink, stood to the side, and waited. And then, like some twisted cosmic joke, her eyes met mine. And she froze. I gave her a nod. Nothing more. No smile. No wave. Just recognition. She looked like she wanted to say something. But I didn't give her the chance. I grabbed my drink, turned, and walked out. No parting words. No dramatic finish. Just the sound of the rain behind me. And that was the real ending. Not revenge. Not karma. Not drama. Just a moment where she realized. I was fine. She wasn't. A week later, I got a message from her sister. Just wanted you to know, she's been different. Quieter. Lost a lot. Keeps saying she wishes she handled things better. I stared at the message for a while. Then typed. I hope she finds peace. Just not through me. Because sometimes the best revenge is outgrowing the people who tried to break you. Not to prove anything, but to finally be free.